If I were to ask you, how's your 401k work? What would you say? John Melvin, MBU Agency, your host, Edutainment. Let's go over that right now about your 401k. Most of our clients come, they have 401ks. They don't really understand how they work. They don't understand the tools and mechanisms, everything behind the scenes of them. But I just want to go over something real basic, real simple today about 401ks, how they work and why they're so popular. But let's take a look at this. Let's just go ahead, meet the Browns. I'm going to show you the Brown family. The Browns are putting away $500 a month into their 401k. Okay, so $500 a month, does that go in before or after taxes? That's right, it goes in before taxes. So because the Browns are putting $500 a month into their 401k, they're actually saving some money on taxes, but we'll get to that. $500 a month to the 401k, how much is that going to be for the whole year? The Browns are going to contribute $6,000 to the 401k. So Mr. Brown has a 401k. Because he's putting in $500 a month, he's going to be contributing $6,000 for the year. But Mr. Brown's going to work for 30 years. Since he's going to work for 30 years, he's going to go ahead and contribute a total of $180,000 for the full 30 years. That's a good size 401k for Mr. Brown. Wouldn't you agree? Exactly. So now we're going to get to the savings portion in taxes. Because Mr. Brown has a 401k, he's actually saving money in taxes because the money that he's putting away into his 401k, the difference is lowering his taxable income. So let's just say Mr. Brown was actually getting paid at his job $3,000 a month. Well, $3,000 a month, if he did not have a 401k, he would have to pay taxes on the full $3,000. But because he's actually putting money inside his 401k and he's putting $500 a month, instead of him paying taxes on $3,000, he's actually paying taxes now on $2,500, which lowers his taxable income, which saves him money in what? Taxes, exactly. So let's say at 30%, Mr. Brown is actually saving $150 a month in taxes because he has his 401k. So not only is he saving for his retirement, but he's saving money in taxes. It's like a double win, wouldn't you agree? So $150 a month times out by 12 months in a year, that means Mr. Brown is actually saving $1,800 a year because he has his 401k and he's contributing to his 401k. Remember, it's the double whammy. So now Mr. Brown's going to work for 30 years. So because he actually is putting money inside his 401k, he actually is saving a total of $54,000 in taxes because he has his 401k. He's actually feeling pretty good about his 401k right about now, because if he did not have his 401k, he would have paid $54,000 extra in taxes, which is not a good thing. Wouldn't you agree? So could this 401k be an asset? Well, listen. The reason why most people have 401ks is because on the front end, it looks like an asset. On the front end, it looks attractive. On the front end, it looks pretty sexy. But what happens is on the back end is where it actually hurts. And a lot of people are receiving either market loss or paying a lot in taxes, because we have to understand when 401ks first came in existence, it came for when people can put money away into a 401k when taxes are high, and then pull money out when taxes are lower. But right now, taxes are what? Low, and people are going to be pulling money out when taxes are higher. So this is how it works. There's 3 phases to your 401k. There's the contribution phase, there's the accumulation phase, and then there's the distribution phase finally. So let's take a look at those. First phase is the contribution phase. What you actually contributed. Because we know that Mr. Brown put $180,000 into his 401k, we're going to put that down under the contribution phase, $180,000. The next phase we're going to look at is the accumulation phase. Now, if you get your financial calculators out, what you'll find is if you take the $180,000, 30 years, 12%, it's going to come out to be about just over $1.1 million. So we're just going to put $1.1 million here to make numbers easy. Fair enough? Fair enough. So the 3 phases, what you contributed, $180,000, put that $180,000 in, have it earn you some interest over the time. It's going to contribute to about $1.1 million. Now you're feeling pretty good about your retirement. Wouldn't you agree? The final one, we're going to go to the distribution phase. In this distribution phase, We know that Mr. Brown has $1.1 million and he's feeling pretty good about that. So Mr. Brown actually is going to be taking out $100,000 a year for retirement. Why? Because he can. So Mr. Brown is going to pull out $100,000 for retirement for that year. But what's the one thing that Mr. Brown did in the accumulation phase and the contribution phase of his retirement, of his 401k? He deferred his what? His taxes to pay them when? Later. So since he deferred his taxes to pay them later, and by doing so, he was able to save $54,000 by doing that. So he's feeling pretty good. But what's the one thing he has to do now that he wants to retire? He has to pay those taxes. So if he pulls out $100,000, we don't know what the future tax rate is going to be. So I'm not going to hit you with the banana in the tailpipe to tell you it's going to be higher. I don't know. But what I am going to do is say, let's just keep taxes the same rate that they are today for the future in this example. So we're going to say that taxes is going to be the same 30%. So if he wants to take out $100,000, we're going to say 30% of 100,000 means that he's going to pay $30,000 in taxes. Now, let's just say after 2 years of Mr. Brown being in retirement, after 2 years, times that by 2 years, he wants to pull out the second 100,000. Mr. Brown would pay a total of $60,000 in taxes just because he deferred his taxes. Now, if we look at this number, $60,000 in taxes, that's actually a bigger number than what he actually saved in a 30-year time frame for having a 401k. See, what happens is if you were a farmer, would you rather pay taxes on one seed, or would you rather plant that seed, water that seed, let that seed grow to a huge crop, and then pay taxes on a big portion of your crop? It would make sense to pay taxes on the one seed. Every single time Mr. Brown puts money inside his 401k, what he's actually doing is he's actually planting that seed, watering that seed, letting that seed grow to a huge crop of $1.1 million, and then paying taxes on a big portion of your crop. Would it make sense to pay taxes on the seed and not the harvest? I think it would. How would it be if you could actually put your retirement funds inside of an account where you wouldn't have to pay taxes in the future? A tax-free retirement. Patrick Kelly has an awesome book called Tax-Free Retirement. I give it to all my clients. It's an awesome read, and I suggest you get that read also. But if you could do so, would that be of any interest to you? And the reason why 401ks are so popular is because you have to realize who's offering the 401ks. It's the corporations who's offering the 401ks. Now, why do companies want us to have 401ks? A company has to match the taxes that we actually pay. So what happens is let's say, for an example, Mr. Brown, if he didn't have a 401k, he would have to pay the taxes off of $3,000 a month of income. But because he's putting $500 a month into his pot, into his 401k, instead of him paying taxes off of $3,000, he's only paying taxes off of $2,500. What that does is his company has to also match whatever he pay in taxes. So the more money that goes into 401k, essentially it lowers the taxable amount, which lowers the taxable income. And if I'm a company, I want all of my employees to have 401ks. Why? Because it's going to lower how much they pay in taxes, which in essence lowers how much I have to match in their taxes. So that's the reason why your job actually pushes your 401k on you. That's the reason why. You thought they cared about your retirement? Probably not. Probably so. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this. You should care about your retirement. It doesn't matter what goes on Wall Street. It matters what goes on in your street. And when your street, tax-free retirement is the way to go. John Melvin, MBU Agency, Edutainment. This is my message. You have a great day.
Drive me a desert. No time to have you learn.